For anybody to try to give a speech this long who can't actually do it, you know what I mean, without a teleprompter, you shouldn't be talking that long. If you cannot talk to me for 17 minutes straight without a teleprompter, you should not be able to talk to me for 17 minutes with one. You're a fraud right now. You're talking like you can do this. You got training wheels on your bicycle right now, sir. You know what I mean? You're riding with training wheels, looking at me like you're doing it. I'm like, look at this. Oh, okay. Let me take lessons from the guy with training wheels on who can't even say what he means when he wants to say it. He needs a whole little list and he's going to act out what's on the paper. You know what I mean? This is just disingenuousness at its finest. Well, all right now, I'm Hank Hessner, and this is Late to the Party. And as you know, we must get one thing clear right off the bat. There is absolutely nothing wrong with being late to the party, as long as you show up. And now that you're here, you're right on time. Well, look who we got at the door. Drum roll for President Joe Biden.
My fellow Americans.
Well, hello there, Brandon. What do you have to say for yourself?
I'm speaking to you tonight from the Oval Office.
Which one?
Before I begin, let me speak to important news from earlier today. After 8 months of nonstop negotiation, my administration, a ceasefire and a hostage deal has been reached by Israel and Hamas.
Okay.
The elements of which I laid out in great detail in May of this year. This plan was developed and negotiated by my team and will be largely implemented by the incoming administration. That's why I told my team to keep the incoming administration fully informed, because that's how it should be.
Now, sorry to interrupt, Mr. Biden and watchers, but normally when I do work and my team is involved, I say we. On the flip side, when my team does work and I am not involved, I say my team. Just noticing that, wondering if anybody knew which one it was, or if you would like to tell us. Carry on.
Working together as Americans. This will be my final address to you from the American people from the Oval Office, from this desk as president.
There you go.
And I've been thinking a lot about who we are and maybe more importantly, who we should be. Long ago in New York Harbor.
Time out. Here it comes. Story time with good old Joe Biden. Let's go.
Iron worker installed beam after beam, day after day. He was joined by steel workers, stonemasons, engineers. They built not just a single structure, but a beacon of freedom.
All right, now, sorry, but I am taking all bets that this man will not have a career in storytelling after his career in politics. All bets will be taken. Reach out to me, Hank Hessner, on X. Let's go.
The very idea of America was so big, we felt the entire world needed to see. The Statue of Liberty. A gift from France after our Civil War. Like the very idea of America, it was...
Hold up. I am sick and tired of this idea of America talk. Now listen, I do not live in an idea. You understand me? I live in America, the greatest country ever. Now, when you speak on this country, you get it right, Mr. Biden, and anyone else who wants to address this as an idea. My address is not in an idea. You understand me? Carry on.
Built not by one person, but by many people from every background and from around the world. Like America, the Statue of Liberty is not standing still. Her foot literally steps forward atop a broken chain of human bondage. She's on the march, and she literally moves. She was built to sway back and forth to withstand the fury of stormy weather, to stand the test of time because storms are always coming. She sways a few inches, but she never falls into the current below. An engineering marvel. The Statue of Liberty is also an enduring symbol of the soul of our nation. A soul shaped by forces that bring us together and by forces that pull us apart. And yet, through good times and tough times, we've withstood it all. A nation of pioneers and explorers, of dreamers and doers, of ancestors native to this land, of ancestors who came by force, a nation of immigrants who came to build a better life, a nation holding the torch of the most powerful idea ever in the history of the world, that all of us, all of us are created equal, that all of us deserve to be treated with dignity, justice, and fairness, that democracy must defend and be defined and be imposed, moved in every way possible. Our rights, our freedoms, our dreams. But we know the idea of America, our institution, our people, our values that uphold it are constantly being tested. Ongoing debates about power and the exercise of power. But whether we lead by the example of our power or the power of our example, whether we show the courage to stand up to the abuse of power or we yield to it. After 50 years at the center of all of this, I know that believing in the idea of America means respecting the institutions that govern a free society, the presidency, the Congress, the courts, a free and independent press, institutions that are rooted, they just might not reflect the timeless words, but they echo the words of the Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident. Rooted in the timeless words of the Constitution, we the people. Our system of separation of powers, checks and balances. It may not be perfect, but it's maintained our democracy for nearly 250 years.
Sorry to interrupt again, but now we know who talks like this. Politicians, they get their hands up, they get to put together and all that stuff like that. They lean in and all that. They got this look, all reading off a teleprompter, non-genuine at all, script writers, and they try to pretend as if not. Why don't you just put the script on the screen and let us read it with you? You know what I mean? I mean, who listens this way? We know who talks this way, but who really listens as if a teleprompter isn't being ran? The eyes are looking a little bit off to the right or the left or on the top. Or if you got one of the good ones, you know, I do come from Hollywood as well, famed music producer, actor, screenwriter, all them good things. You got the ones where you can actually see the words while looking dead in the camera. Now, I'm not sure which one he has. He looks like he's looking a little bit off to the right, but good old geriatric Joe, he might just be looking at the one in the center, but offset, who knows, man? But who really listens this way? Like, I just hear pure disingenuousness when I see these people, you know what I mean? When I hear them talk. And that's why I actually like Trump, man. Off the teleprompter, no teleprompter, goes off it all the time, likes to talk free, takes all questions, you know what I mean? Non-scripted responses, non-scripted questions. I mean, if you can't do that, you should not be involved in anything that dictates the lives of a country of people. Anyway.
Longer than any other nation in history that's ever tried such a bold experiment.
Oh my goodness, we've got 12 minutes and 51 seconds to go. Oh no.
In the past 4 years, our democracy has held strong. And every day I've kept my commitment to be president for all Americans through one of the toughest periods in our nation's history. I've had a great partner in Vice President Kamala Harris. It's been the honor of my life to see the resilience of essential workers getting us through a once-in-a-century pandemic. The heroism of service members and first responders keeping us safe. The determination of advocates standing up for our rights and our freedoms instead of losing their jobs to an economic crisis that we inherited millions of Americans.
I mean, what about the ones who did lose their jobs because they wanted to, you know, have the right to choose to not inject themselves with an experimental vaccine? How about them? Anyway, carry on.
Now have the dignity of work. Millions of entrepreneurs and companies creating new businesses and industries, hiring American workers, using American products. And together, we've launched a new era of American possibilities. One of the greatest modernizations of infrastructure in our entire history. From new roads, bridges, clean water, affordable high-speed internet for every American. We invented the semiconductor, smaller than the tip of my little finger, and now is bringing those chip factories and those jobs back to America where they belong, creating thousands of jobs. Finally, giving Medicare the power to negotiate lower prescription drug prices for millions of seniors. And finally, doing something to protect our children and our families by passing the most significant gun safety law in 30 years and bringing violent crime to a 50-year low.
Gun safety is having a gun when somebody is trying to use one against you. That is gun safety. There is no law that you pass that adds to that. You know, the Second Amendment, you know, the one that shall not be infringed, that's the one that is true gun safety. Anyway.
Meeting our sacred obligation to over 1 million veterans so far who are exposed to toxic materials, and to their families, providing medical care and education benefits and more for their families. You know, it will take time to feel the full impact of all we've done together. But the seeds are planted, and they'll grow and they'll bloom for decades to come. At home, we've created nearly 17 million new jobs, more than any other single administration, a single term. More people have health care than ever before. And overseas, we've strengthened NATO. Ukraine is still free. And we've pulled ahead of our competition with China. And so much more. I'm so proud of how much we've accomplished together for the American people. And I wish the incoming administration success, because I want America to succeed. That's why I've held my duty to ensure a peaceful and orderly transition of power, to ensure we lead by the power of our example. I have no doubt that America is in a position to continue to succeed. That's why my farewell address tonight, I want to warn the country of some things that give me great concern. This is a dangerous and that's a dangerous concentration of power in the hands of a very few ultra-wealthy people. The dangerous consequences if their abuse of power is left unchecked.
Do you mean the Democrat Party, sir? Sorry to interrupt.
Today, an oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that literally threatens our entire democracy, our basic rights and freedoms.
So you're talking about those that are being involved in the incoming administration, and you're saying you wish them well, but you're also saying that they're a problem. The same way that you said they're a threat to democracy, but I don't understand this right here, man. This is common sense. You can't have it and want to and side with what these people say. It's like you hear it and you look at the faces with the cause of concern and all of that stuff, and you're just like, again, that word, pure disingenuousness.
And a fair shot for everyone to get ahead. We see the consequences all across America. And we've seen it before. More than a century ago, but the American people stood up to the robber barons back then and busted the trusts. They didn't punish the wealthy. They just made the wealthy play by the rules everybody else had to. Workers want rights to earn their fair share. You know, they were dealt into the deal, and it helped put us on a path to building the largest middle class, the most prosperous century any nation in the world has ever seen. We've got to do that again. In the last 4 years, that is exactly what we've done. People should be able to make as much as they can, but play by the same rules, pay their fair share of taxes. So much is at stake.
Taxation is theft.
Right now, the existential threat of climate change has never been clearer. Just look across the country.
Now, it's so funny just hearing these people talk, because if you can hear, you know what I mean, words like climate change, I remember, you know, I'm not that old, but I'm old enough to remember when it was global warming, you know what I mean? And there was also global cooling. Since they were wrong the first time, they were wrong the second time. They said, you know what, we'll just say it's changing. And now we'll get all this money because the climate is changing, which it always seems to do. We know about the ice age. We know about all this stuff. The climate is always changing. Anyway.
From California to North Carolina. That's why I signed the most significant climate and clean energy law ever in the history of the world. And the rest of the world is trying to model it now. It's working. Creating jobs and industries.
I bet it's working like Bidenomics, huh?
of the future. Now, we've proven we don't have to choose between protecting the environment and growing the economy. We're doing both. The powerful forces want to wield their unchecked influence to eliminate the steps we've taken to tackle the climate crisis, to serve their own interest for power and profit. We must not be bullied into sacrificing the future of our children and our grandchildren. We must keep pushing forward and push faster. There's no time to waste. It's also clear that American leadership in technology is an unparalleled source of innovation that can transform lives. We see the same dangers of the concentration of technology, power, and wealth.
Yeah.
You know, as
Definitely reading off the teleprompter to the right, his left.
farewell address, President Eisenhower spoke of the dangers of the military-industrial complex. He warned us then about, and I quote, the potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power, end of quote. 6 decades later, I'm equally concerned about the potential rise of a tech-industrial complex that could pose real dangers for our country as well.
But not concerned about the military-industrial complex and big pharma, you know what I mean, all that stuff like that. So, how did you get rich, by the way? Is that why you're worried about it? Some new oligarchy, as you like to call it. But anyway, carry on.
Americans are being buried under an avalanche of misinformation and disinformation, enabling the abuse of power. The free press is crumbling. Editors are disappearing.
What is disappearing?
Social media is.
I didn't catch that.
Americans are being buried under an avalanche of misinformation and disinformation, enabling the abuse of power. The free press is crumbling. Editors are disappearing.
Heathers are disappearing? I don't know.
Social media is giving up on fact-checking. The truth is smothered by lies told for power and for profit. We must hold the social platforms accountable.
No, what you mean is we must continue to control the speech. That's all that means. That's all that means. Oh my goodness, man. Oh my goodness. You got to be far gone to have this resonate with you and be like, yeah. You know what I mean? You got to be far gone.
Protect our children, our families, and our very democracy from the abuse of power. Meanwhile, artificial intelligence is the most consequential technology of our time, perhaps of all time. Nothing offers more profound possibilities and risks for our economy and our security, our society, for humanity.
And just to let you know, artificial intelligence is not artificial intelligence. It's machine learning. It mimics humans. You get what I'm saying? So if you are a low-functioning human being, you know what I mean, there will be some low-functioning AIs, but or let's just say environment setups, data sets, collections. It can replace a lot of people. You know what I mean? And if you're a low-functioning human, get ready to get replaced, and more so focus on the things that these machines can't do. That's where the gold mine is going to be. Just a heads up for everybody out there. That which AI cannot do sounds like a lovely job for you.
Artificial intelligence even has the potential to help us answer my call to end cancer as we know it. But unless safeguards
end cancer, end racism, how do you do this stuff? Come on, man. Tell us the steps necessary. And you got to understand, these people are not the doers of society. They are rich from going in rooms and making deals and writing papers. They're all rich. They're not doing work for real. I mean, I get that there is an aspect of that being work, but you were never supposed to go to politics and get rich. You know what I mean? These people didn't make it in America for real. So for them to get in there and legislate stuff for us to do, the actual workers of this land, come on, man. They have no place here. They have no place in telling you what needs to be done and how it should be done. You know what I mean? Make a dollar in the economy, outside of government, outside of insider trading.
In place. AI
And put your finger down when you're talking to me. You understand me?
could spawn new threats to our rights, our way of life, to our privacy, how we work, and how we protect our nation. We must make sure AI is safe and trustworthy and good for all humankind. In the age of AI, it's more important than ever that the people must govern. And as the land of liberty, America, not China, must lead the world in the development of AI. You know, in the years ahead, it'll help to be, it's going to be up to the president, the presidency, the Congress, the courts, the free press, and the American people to confront these powerful forces. We must reform the tax code, not by giving the biggest tax cuts to billionaires, but by making them begin to pay their fair share.
Man, make these other countries pay these, get the money from tariffs of other countries, man. Shout out to the folks who've been pointing that out. They ain't got no business paying no doggone taxes. You know it's a scam.
We need to get dark money. That's that hidden funding behind too many campaigns contributions.
And I'm sorry, but the dark money is the unlimited money from tax. And I don't understand this, and I could be wrong, but if I gotta pay to spend my money and pay when I get paid my money, and then the person who gets my money has to pay taxes on the same money, you have a never-ending money loop. So, I mean, what are you talking about? If that ain't dark money, I don't know what dark money is. $1 generates trillions of dollars, or based on that, you know what I mean? If $1 gets taxed by me, when I spend it, who gets it, when they spend it, how do you ever run out of money? You know what I mean? And I don't get it. And if you do, please let me know.
We need to get it out of our politics. We need to enact an 18-year time limit, time and term, for the strongest ethics and the strongest ethics reforms for our Supreme Court. We need to ban members of Congress from trading stock while they're in the Congress. We need to amend the Constitution.
Why not just Congress? You know what I mean? Take it a little further. That's when it gets really clean in politics.
To make clear that no president is immune from crimes that he or she commits while in office. The president's power is not limited.
You saw he had to wipe his nose and get up and get all hunched for that. Boy, he felt that in his soul. He don't want that to come to pass while he's still alive. I guarantee you that.
It's not absolute. And it shouldn't be. And in a democracy, there's another danger to the concentration of power and wealth. It erodes a sense of unity and common purpose. It causes distrust and division. Participating in our democracy becomes exhausting and even disillusioning. And people don't feel like they have a fair shot. We have to stay engaged in the process. I know it's frustrating. A fair shot is what makes America America. Everyone's entitled to a fair shot, not a guarantee, but just a fair shot, an even playing field, going as far as your hard work and talent can take you. We can never lose that essential truth, remain who we are. I've always believed, and I've told other world leaders, America can be defined by one word: possibilities. Only in America do we believe anything is possible. Like a kid with a stutter from modest beginnings in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and Claremont, Delaware, sitting behind this desk in the Oval Office as President of the United States. That's the magic of America. It's all around us. Upstairs in the residence of the White House, I've walked by a painting of the Statue of Liberty I don't know how many times.
Oh my
In the painting, there's several workers climbing on the outstretched arm of the statue that holds the torch. It reminds me every day I pass it of the story and soul of our nation and the power of the American people.
To be honest, right? Now, being that I am, famed music producer, songwriter, screenwriter, all them good things. Now, I do have a long stint in the music industry. Now we look down on people who get in the studio and actually piece together their recordings, whether they're singing, whether they're rapping, whatever it is that they're doing. When they piece it all together and it is in a way that they can't do it in real life. Like, when they go to perform the songs, they can't even perform it all the way through. Gotta have breaks, gotta have, background singers, hot men, all that stuff like that. We look down on those people. You know what I mean? It's like, you can't do this for real. You are artificial. Only if they knew. You cannot do what you're doing in the studio in real life. Without the help of the studio, you can't do this. I also think that for anybody to try to give a speech this long who can't actually do it, without a teleprompter, you shouldn't be talking that long. You know what I mean? If you cannot talk to me for 17 minutes straight without a teleprompter, you should not be able to talk to me for 17 minutes with one. If you get what I'm saying. You're a fraud right now. You're talking like you can do this. You got training wheels on your bicycle right now, sir. You know what I mean? You're riding with training wheels and looking at me like you're doing it. And I'm like, look at this. Oh, okay, let me take lessons from the guy with training wheels on who can't even say what he means when he wants to say it. He needs a whole little list and he's going to act out what's on the paper. You know what I mean? This is just, again, disingenuousness at its finest.
There's a story of a veteran. This is a veteran.
Here we go. Story time with Joe. Oh, man, we only got 2 minutes and 22 seconds. Thank God.
Whose job was to climb that torch and polish the amber panes so rays of light could reach out as far as possible.
Oh, man.
He was known as the keeper of the flame. He once said of the Statue of Liberty, quote, speaks a silent universal language, one of hope that anyone who seeks and speaks freedom can understand. Yes, we sway back and forth to withstand the fury of the storm, to stand the test of time. A constant struggle, a short distance between peril and possibility. But what I believe is the America of our dreams is always closer than we think. It's up to us to make our dreams come true. Let me close by stating my gratitude to so many people, to the members of my administration, as well as public service and first responders across the country and around the world. Thank you for stepping up to serve. To our service members and your families, it's been the highest honor of my life to lead you as Commander-in-Chief. And of course, to Kamala and our incredible partner, historic Vice President. She and Doug have become like family. And to me, family's everything. My deepest appreciation to our amazing First Lady who's with me in the Oval today.
Which one?
For our entire family. You're the love of my life and the lives of my love. My
the lives of my love, the lives of my love, the loves of my life and the lives of my love. He think he's spitting right now. Boy, I tell you what now.
Eternal thanks to you, the American people. After 50 years of public service, I give you my word. I still believe in the idea for which this nation stands.
Sorry.
Nation where the strength of our institutions and the character of our people matter and must endure. Now it's your turn to stand guard. May you all be the keeper of the flame. May you keep the faith. I love America. You love it too. God bless you all. May God protect our troops. Thank you for this great honor. My fellow...
God should protect our troops because you did a piss poor job of doing it, you know what I mean? And I don't want to keep the flame, you know what I mean? I'd rather put out the flame like, California would like to have done, you know what I mean? We're not trying to keep the flame. That sounds like some demon behavior. No, sorry. He did say something that rings very true to my heart, my spirit. We need to work together as Americans. You know what I mean? What I see is a lot of people have this mindset to where we're supposed to eradicate or the other is evil, hands off. Now, granted, wherever there is light, there is darkness. If you get what I'm saying, separate in the shadows, hiding behind something or somebody. If you do not understand, God already did that. He separated the light from the darkness. He didn't eradicate darkness. You know what I mean? He just said, let there be light. You know what I mean? So, as, followers of Christ, sons of God, whatever you want to, whatever you see, you know what I mean? Because you may be blind. You may not see what I see. With that being said, you were supposed to be the light of the world. You get what I'm saying? That doesn't mean eradicate the darkness. That just means put it in its place and let it be there. You know what I mean? Let the darkness go where the darkness goes. You should never let it be in the forefront. It should not dictate the ways of the light and those who are of the light. It should never dictate it. You know what I mean? When you're saying, I can't say this, I can't say that, you are letting the darkness dictate light. I've never seen that. If I cut off the lights in this room right now, darkness runs. You get what I'm saying? Darkness is supposed to run from the light. Darkness, I can't be here. I gotta go. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't eradicate it. It just says go somewhere else. You can't do that here. Lights on. You know what I mean? So that is working together. You get what I'm saying? I know you may not understand fully what I'm saying, but Satan has a job to do. You know what I mean? And God appointed him to do that job. If you get what I'm saying. Now, if you didn't know, you're supposed to love all people, even your enemy. You understand? Now, you so-called lights of the world, you hate your enemy. You know what I mean? I don't hate this man right here. I appreciate him. You know what I mean? Because, as they say, hard times make tough men. Tough men make easy times. Easy times make weak men. Weak men make tough times. Tough times make tough men. If you get what I'm saying, the cycle repeats on. I might have messed it up a little bit around the way, but you get the point. This man right here, Joe Biden, aka Brandon, has activated a lot of lights, real lights. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of false lights, you know what I mean? Light bearers, but the light is not in them, if you get what I'm saying. A lot of them have been activated. But with that being said, I'm watching him activate. Same way I appreciate him is the same way I appreciate Obama. It woke a lot of people up. A lot of us were asleep at the wheel till we saw that man do what he did to this country. You know what I mean? And a lot woke up. Those people have been telling us the whole time. You know what I mean? And then it happened again. Now here we are. Look, I might be late to the party, but hey, like I say, as long as you show up, you are right on time. So with that being said, yeah, man, you're not supposed to fight the darkness with the darkness's energy, which is hate. You know what I mean? Fire does not put out fire. It expands it. You put one lighter next to another lighter, what do you get? That's what you are. You know what I mean? That's what you guys are doing. You're supposed to douse it, you know what I mean, with light, with love. I don't hate this man. You know what I mean? He's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. You know what I mean? He's activating a lot of us out here. Now, with that being said, I appreciate you, Joe, but it is time to go. Now, you guys have a good one. As always, there is no problem being late to the party. As long as you show up, you're right on time. Speaking of time, till next time.